All right, back in the load screen here for this best of 5 grand finals. Again, to discuss what's going on for this, boys and girls, what these guys are playing for right now, it's for a fully paid trip to Home Story Cup 9. Every single person playing today, all top 8 people that made it to today's tournament, they're welcome to come play. They've been invited, but they have to get there on their own. They have to buy their own plane tickets. Whereas the winner of this best of 5, Take TV, is basically going to take care of them. So without further ado, guys, spawning in the lower left corner of the map from Samsung Galaxy. He is in Korea. We're back on the Korean server. It's the red Zerg player, Samsung Galaxy's Armani.
In the upper right, as the blue Terran, it is Polt.
You know what? That first game looked a little bit rough. Polt, of course, a little unfortunate. I think a lot of this came down to, though, rather than, you know, rallying 13 Marines at a time, he spent that money making those factories. Like, I don't... Maybe if that game had gone on 5 more minutes or something, we would have seen the production from the factories come through, but, I mean, he really didn't have a lot of Marine production that game.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much exactly what I was going to talk about. It was just that time where he was staying in the middle worked out for that short period amount of time, right? He got that good wood on mine hit. Armani was a little too scared to push out past his El Naga. But then when he started building those factories, his wood armor production was actually not that high. I mean, there was a couple littered around, but it wasn't enough to really scare a Zerg player. So had he, like, retreated, waited a minute or two longer, he would have had a lot more factory, those buffer units that take on the banelings to hold on. And I don't know, maybe he realized that too, or maybe he thinks something entirely different. Of course, he's a lot better at this game than we are, but...
Well, I mean, it was a real shame that he couldn't get the Hellbats out in the front line. I mean, he finally got a couple squeezed out, but they were, like, behind the Marines and the Marauders, you know, not the place you ideally want them to have.
It was like a minute where there was just something that could go wrong, and Armani pounced on it.
I think, okay, as far as this goes too, just analyzing the last series we watched of Polt, guys, don't forget, Stork had like a really big lead early on, and it really made Polt look a little bit like, I don't know, he's going to get wiped off the face of the tournament, but he turned that around, and I don't know, he's kind of the king of comebacks in like impossible situations anyway, so just being down 1 at the moment, this is far from over in this series.
Yeah. Well, the reason I guessed Armani 3-1 is because Armani looked very strong right there. Yeah. Polt has not actually been doing that well in TVZ, I feel. Especially just thinking back to like the Jaedong series in the finals. It didn't seem like, you know, his total, like, you know, indestructible self. Not like, you know, WSS Season 3 or whatever it was, where he looked, you know, so powerful. So, I don't know. I'll be glad to be wrong. I'll be glad if it goes to like a Game 5 and, you know, the epic ace match.
Yeah, actually, you know, it's weird. Both of these semifinals did go to that ace match series. We had these players so well suited for one another. If this were to end one way, I know you called it 3-1 in favor of Armani, but truthfully, I'm just hoping it's a 3-2 either way. Just because, I want to get as much of both of these guys as possible. I love Armani. He's been a part of the weekly tournaments in a big way, and it's been easy to fall in love with him back when he was known as Burning, of course, now Armani. But Polt as well, such a good player. You just want as much Polt as you can get.
Yeah, I'd really wished that Samsung played those three boys that always show up for the Go for StarCraft Cup all the time consistently, so we could get like a, I don't know, like a thing going where they're like the Samsung Brothers online cup.
Oh wow, that gets out. Yeah, no, it was it Trend, Solar, and Armani. They were like the 3 there every single week, without question. And it's kind of funny, too, just as like the side story while we wait for this game to unroll, guys. Solar was the first player to really venture outside of Korea for Samsung and start taking part in the weekly cups, and he started taking part in every single weekly cup. And he started winning a lot of them, too. And I don't know if this is the actual thing of what happened. What I like to pretend is, though, that his teammates suddenly saw him with like $500. They're like, dude, where'd you get this cash? And it's like, oh, I took it from some silly North Americans. So they're like, oh, well, we want free money. So they started competing. And ZombieGrub's not exaggerating, guys. Like, every single weekend we would see when Zodiac North America was around, all 3 of them consistently in those cups.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, Pro League didn't really pan out. I mean, obviously Samsung has a lot of heavy hitters, so they're not always like the big 3 that are thrown out. But it would have been funny to see had they rose the ranks. Solar definitely did. So some guys they always throw out, but not so much of there too.
Dude, big love to Solar too. Talk about integrity. That whole match fixing thing lately.
Yeah.
Like, not just to say no, but to like have your response being like, I will like straight up block you. Like, get out of my face.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really big deal, and you know, a lot of these guys, you know, being as young as they were around like when Savior went through the whole thing. I'm imagining, so they probably are a little mad about anything like that. Anyways, full wall off just in time. He just seemed to be quite in a hurry about that. Of course, last time he had that whole problem where the Lings actually did get in and they were attacking the command center for a little while.
Zombie Grub?
What?
So when we're casting, I don't get to glance at chat too often, but in the early games, I can kind of keep an eye on both things. And I think we just had someone describe us in the most perfect way I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
You're the Al Borland to my Tim. As your constant line is, I don't think so, Rifkin.
Wait,
did you never watch Home Improvement?
Oh, okay. Okay. I know who that is.
Oh my god. I can't do it.
Okay, don't try.
No, but dude, Home Improvement. First, a big shout out for that reference guy. But no, I actually like that a lot because people often try to find different. Like I've noticed, I don't think there's a single person who sees us like as a casting duo in like the same light. Everyone's got like different opinions. And it's always different. Like never the same twice.
Yeah.
It was 3 Reapers from Polt. You know, they didn't get the Queen earlier on. That kind of sucked, right? But the power that they bring to this Hellion follow-up is going to be a lot stronger. And on top of this, too, well, hey, nice Overlord. He's going to actually be able to put pressure on a 3rd. Normally, with only 2 Reapers and 6 Hellions, they actually don't do enough damage to really threaten the hatchery. But that 3rd Reaper is like the tipping point. Like, it's that little bit of extra DPS that can sometimes kill a hatchery.
So this time, Polt did get a Marauder, but that's it. He didn't get those 4 Marauders, he didn't try to get the Medevac, it didn't really work out last time. Honestly, it can work out in a very big way. You know, if you just go directly towards the 3rd, you can get a cancel or even a snipe had they gotten the 3rd early enough. He decided not to do that. This might work out. He's trying to get the one with the most transfuse energy, but has to back away.
He did get a cancel in the hatchery, and he killed the drone, so I mean, really not all terrible for this start.
Well, he also saw that the 3rd was so late, right? Like, he was like, okay, what's going on? That seems, you know, too late to be normal. And I think I heard a scan go down somewhere. Yeah, it was in the main. He knew something was up, and he was going to be that Spire. Just a little bit faster.
Yeah, scouts it up pretty nicely.
And this was a good choice by Armani, because if Polt had been doing exactly what he did last time, you remember how close it was to the mutas being in there without many Marines or any turrets?
Right, and that's kind of what I was talking about too. Like, Polt had invested so much like anti-ground, he had no anti-air. That's what the panic was ensued for that last game as well. This time, he's got a lot of barracks down. Granted, they're not quite finished up, but some are being built directly onto reactors, so he's gonna be able to pump Marines like nobody's business.
Yeah, so good thing didn't go for that same build with all the Marauders and stuff, and also good thing that he scouted it to go ahead and get all those turrets down, be really, really safe. Of course, had he been doing anything else, you know, like something off of 2 base, the Bailing Nest would have been really late, the mutas wouldn't be really good in a straight up fight, Armani would have been in trouble. It was a bit of a gamble, and it's not really going to work out like 100% for either player. Like, Armani's not going to do a ton of damage, but it didn't really take a whole lot of damage either by doing this build.
Well, the Mutalisks are going to finally start cleaning up some of the Hellions. These are a bit of a nuisance, but they're not really that big of a threat. It's kind of sad for Terran players, but like, there's the expiry date on a lot of your units in the early game. Like, Hellions stop being super effective once Mutalisks come out. Reapers are no good once speed completes. I don't know. It kind of sucks, but at the same time, keeping this alive, even if he just suicides the Mid-Banelings, even if he just uses 1 blast to kill like 14 Zerglings, these will be effective. So it's good that he didn't necessarily throw them away. Uh-oh. Yeah, it doesn't quite get that second wind mine down.
These mutas, well, Armani doesn't really have a huge force on the ground or even really that many drones. These mutas ensure that he has the scouting and the map control to go ahead and do so. So he's trying to get up to a healthy drone count, up to around 70 right now, and finally starting to get to that link count up as well.
I like the wall coming down pretty quick here at Polt. This is always a bit of a problem. You're worried about run-bys all the time. Mutalisks, though, kind of just pausing above the kitchen. Again, I don't know what... There's a kitchen here. Have you not seen it? It's in the map intro.
Oh, you literally... Okay, I thought that was like a saying, and I was like... I've never heard that saying before.
The Canadian saying, pausing above the kitchen? What? I can't even... Okay, I know I'm all over the place sometimes, but even I can't fathom like what that could possibly be. Although, granted, I guess I'll give you some slack, because what is that stupid saying? Like, everything in the kitchen sink, or something like that?
Everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah, there you go, so...
I think it is. I don't use it that often either.
Oh, Bailings do roll up here. Do go off a little bit early, but that gives Polt the warning he needs to spread the SCVs, so... He's gonna take some hits here, it's gonna suck, but it's not as bad as it could have been. Middle of the map, though, big engagement going off. He doesn't quite have the Marine spread to eat all the Banelings, but the Mutalisk count is also way too strong.
Yeah, that didn't go so well for Polt. I mean, It's not immediate counterattack, it's not immediate loss, but that was surprisingly poor for Polt.
I'm surprised he never got those depots well. Like, I mean, you put the effort to get the 3 depots down real quick, but then didn't finish it.
Yeah, and obviously Armani's going to be abusing that, and then he attacks on the left and attacks on the right, and there's not even any missile turrets. Where are the missile turrets, Polt?
There's one, and it went down already. Zerglin's getting top of the SUVs. He can't send the Marines over there because he's busy trying to deal with the third. I can't... This is not something that should end Polt's life. Polt is a better player than this, but somehow Armani, well, maybe not gonna end his life, but he's dealing way too much damage.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is just...
He transfers SUVs out while he transfers SUVs out while he transfers new ones in? What? Just trading out what dies, I guess?
Oh, the mutas are getting so, like, numerous that, you know, had the Medivacs not been there, those Marines would definitely be dead.
He's lost quite a few mutas in this, though. 4 going down, which should have just been, like, a free harass.
Look at the Overlord on the right. It's almost like a straight line down. He's seeing all the Medivacs over there, right?
It's like the Pac-Man. You know, you just get the little dots for the medevac to eat as it comes. Waka, waka, waka.
It's a really good one. Okay, so here's something that's going in favor of Polt, is that Armani never started 2-2.
Ooh, that's a good point. Finishing up his own 2-2 right now. He's going to have some really nice advantages in the middle of the map, but we've also seen in the past that, like, with perfect bailing connects, that lack of 2-2 becomes irrelevant. Oh god, but the Mutilus flock here in the north. The army's complete in the middle of the map, and Polt can't really turn around at home to deal with this.
Yeah.
He's going to lose that base. Oh god, that sucks.
Oh yeah, he's getting that base. This is pretty much Polt's last attack. You know, if this doesn't work, if this doesn't kill a base, his only other chance is to stay on 2 bases and somehow, like, turtle. Like with Bio, it doesn't really happen. Polt knows that he's in pretty desperate straits, and...
I don't know that he can deal with this. There's too many bandlings.
No.
He's clumped as well. Really late to that split. He loses so much of his army right there. And now the Mutilus come in, and there's just simply no Marines. There's just no way. There's just no way. Armani with an overwhelming force. Look at the Baileys collide. GG is called an Armani.